it is Renee Smith here, creator and founder of Business Building Accelerator and iSuccess Consulting, president and CEO of iSuccess Consulting. Welcome to our business training. Today we're going to be talking about leverage systems. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I am a strategy and systems kind of girl. I really believe in operating efficiently, making sure that you are productive, and in order for that to happen, you have to have systems in place. I used to say a long time ago, I wish I could clone myself. And since cloning isn't possible, I realized that the next best thing to it was having systems in place where I could duplicate my successes, and then I can evaluate and look at things that are not working efficiently in the business and make the necessary changes. One of the downfalls that many small business owners face, regardless of their size, I work with companies that were 50, 60, 70 million dollars, and they were having some of the same systems issues that companies that were much, much smaller than them. So it's not necessarily related to your size. It really is related to the efficiency and organization of your company. So let's define what a system is. A system is basically where you're going to put in place step-by-step procedures which are going to tell somebody or outline for somebody what needs to happen. If you look at Chickfila, guys, it doesn't matter which Chickfila that you go to, they pretty much operate the same way. When they have a long line, they're going to bring the little umbrella stand out. They're going to have the person come out with their tablet, taking your orders. They're going to get your name. And it's the same process over and over and over, regardless of what Chick-fil-A you go to. And the great thing about it is they're hiring teenagers or college or people to work where they don't have to pay them this huge salary because they have systems in place. Get the operations manual and follow step by step by step through the system that I have to receive a desired result. So in your business, you want to have systems in place. You want to have finance systems in place. You know, what do you do when you need to have additional capital to scale your business? Are you getting a line of credit? Are you doing accounts receivable funding? What is it that you're doing? For your customer service, what is the standard of care or procedure? With Zappos, I remember reading an article about them and I was studying them, and they said basically their number one thing is customer service, client experience, and basically selling shoes is a part of it. But there's a procedure and process that they have in place to ensure that they deliver this kind of customer service. So you want to have customer service systems in place. You want to have systems in place for your marketing. We just talked about that in a previous training video about having that marketing machine, that marketing systems in place. You want to have it in human resources. How are you attracting employees? How are you retaining them? How are you rewarding it? This should not, or how are you promoting them? This should not be something that is just randomly done. If you want to be able to retain these employees and lower your attrition rate, there has to be a system in place. So pretty much every area in your business, it needs to be systemized, even down to the receptionist and how the phone is answered. Because if somebody is not there, if somebody leaves, is on vacation, or they get fired, or they resign, or whatever the case is, there has to be procedures in place where your business can continue to flow, continue to operate. So you need to be able to have this procedures manual, these systems in place where you can easily train people and get people up to speed. If you're constantly having to reinvent the wheel, then that's taking time and money, precious time, precious money away from really growing and scaling your business. So today we're going to talk about 7 things that you can do to develop your systems or even enhance your systems if you already have them. So the very first thing is you need to name your system. What kind of system is this? Is this human resources? Is it operations? Is it supply chain? What is the system? So number 1, you want to name it. Number 2, you want to create what is your goal? What is the end result that you want from this system? So for instance, if it's customer service, your goal may be that you want 98% or 99% accuracy within your customer service and your client engagement, or you want to have 75% or 80% repeat business. Whatever that goal is, you need to assign it to your system so that once you go back and you evaluate your system and you're looking at the results, you have to see if you achieved that goal. So we're not just putting a system in place just to put it in place. We want to make sure that we're reaching our goal. Number 3 is you have to document. Document, document, document. And it needs to be step by step by step, and it needs to be easy where a third grader could understand it. Because you want to make sure that regardless of who is in that position, you don't want the success to be based on one individual that has this high knowledge, of this particular area. And if they move on to somewhere else in the company, that nobody else could be able to come and do their job. So you need to make sure that when you document, that it's very simple, that somebody could pick it up, have training on it, and be able to do whatever needs to be done within that particular area. So let's document. Number 4 is create a visual map. A lot of people are very, very visual. So they do well with checklists, they do well with infographics, they do well with diagram, where it's just easy to reference and say, this is what step 1 is, step 2, step 3 is. So once you document it and you have all those juicy details in it, now do something that's a little bit more simplified where people can just really see it and be able to follow it. So that's going to be step number 4, which is to create a visual map. Step number 5 is going to be implement the system, right? You don't want to just create this system and then you just have these operation manuals or systems manuals and they just get dust on it. So you have to implement, you have to execute, train your people or train your team on it. And your team should be involved in developing the system. Whoever is going to have the touch points to doing these things, they need to be involved in the system. So once you execute the system or implement it, which is step 5, then you want to review the process. Right? Because growing and scaling your business is constantly making sure that you are setting goals, you're setting strategies, then making sure that you're achieving these goals. If you are, great, what's the next level? If you're not achieving them, what is the next step? What do I need to do different? So once you start assessing the system and you find out what needs to be changed, the last step, number 7, is continuous improvement. You want to make sure that your systems are lean. You want to make sure, when I say lean, you want to make sure that they don't have any unnecessary steps in there. You want to make sure that they're not redundant, that you're not doing something or touching something twice. You want to make sure that every step is lean. Every step that is in there that is needed, if there's a more efficient way of doing it, you want to make sure that you implement and make sure that you do it. So you want to continuously improve and get the system down to a science. This is important because, as I always say, you nor one individual should be the whole business, right? In order to scale it, it has to be scalable, which means that there are systems and there are processes in place that the business does not revolve around 1 or 2 key people. So one of the best ways of doing this is, of course, having your strategy in place, but also having systems in place. So your homework assignment is to go back and look at your business and figure out which key systems you need to develop for your business or that you need to enhance, and go through the 7-step process that I just discussed with you and develop those systems. Okay, guys? So we're not connected on social media. Let's connect. I'm at iSuccess Consult. That's at iSuccess Consult. And if you have questions or comments, make sure that you leave them below. So today's training was an excerpt of the Business Building Accelerator, which is a 5-step system that shows you exactly how to build the infrastructure required to compete for and win larger business-to-business contracts, government or corporate contracts. So built in that system is B, business strategy; U for unique branding; I for integrated marketing and sales; L, which we discussed today, for leverage systems; and D for decisive delegation. All right, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. Make sure that you do your homework assignment. And remember, you can build and grow your business. You just have to make sure that you have the right strategy and a firm foundation in place. Signing off, guys, T. Renee Smith. Bye-bye. See you next time.